Russia as a whole is definitely a tourist center with tons of historical artifacts and amazing things to fill your eyes with. One of the most gorgeous things about this country is its luxurious palaces and the historical background that comes with each one. Thank the stars you have us here to give you all the juicy details. Welcome back to our channel, and today we'll be taking a look inside the top 5 luxurious palaces of Russia. We know you're excited to take a look, so come on in. Number 1. The Winter Palace. The first palace on our list is the Winter Palace, which is very well known as a tourist attraction in St. Petersburg and somewhere you must check out on your trip to Russia. Presently, this extraordinary palace is one of the 6 structures housing the Hermitage Museum, as it's one of the greatest royal residences in the world. The site encompasses the largest collection of paintings in the world. Truly a sight to behold. There are more than 3 million works of art and world culture artifacts, and if you were to stop by each work for about a minute, it would take you several days to get through the main hall alone. It's argued that the color of the Winter Palace has been altering throughout the years, from a warm yellow to a more dense one, and was even repainted in red brick color during the rule of Emperor Nicholas II. At present time, the facades of the palace are painted in emerald blue, gold and white, which is a true treasure on the banks of the Neva River, indicating the magnificence of the Russian Empire. The Winter Palace was the official home of the Russian Emperor from 1732 to 1917. The palace and its territories now house the Hermitage Museum. Set between Palace Embankment and Palace Square opposite the site of Peter the Great's original Winter Palace, the current and 4th Winter Palace was created and changed continuously between the late 1730s and 1837, when it was harshly wrecked by fire and immediately refurbished. The storming of the Winter Palace in 1917, as portrayed in Soviet art and in Sergei Einstein's 1928 movie October, became an iconic symbol of the Russian Revolution. On the 30th of October 1917, the palace was announced to be a part of the Hermitage Public Museums. The first exhibition to be held in the Winter Palace pertained to the history of the Russian Revolution, and the public was able to take a look at the private rooms of the imperial family. What could be better than that? Aside from chocolate ice cream, nothing. Number 2. St. Michael's Castle. The second palace on our list is St. Michael's Castle. This unique architectural exhibition is situated in the very soul of St. Petersburg. St. Michael's Castle was created as a home for Emperor Paul I of Russia by architects Vincenzo Brenna and Vasily Bazhanov from 1797 to 1801. It was named after St. Michael the Archangel, patron saint of the royal family. The palace looks different on each side, as the architects used motifs of several architectural techniques such as Gothic, French Classicism, and Italian Renaissance. The castle was constructed to the south of the Summer Garden and superseded the tiny wooden palace of Empress Elizabeth Petrovna. This palace is alleged to be one of the extraordinary peaks of the city due to the legends and mysteries linked with it. It's assumed that the spirit of the Emperor Paul I is still wandering around the castle walls. Spooky! All the facades of the St. Michael's Castle are different. The contemporaries call the interiors of the castle a miracle of taste and opulence. Developed by the extraordinary architects and sculptors of that time, the conventional home of the emperor also served as a museum of ancient Russian and European art. It was later transformed into the Army Engineers School and renamed the Engineers Castle. These days, St. Michael's Castle hosts a sector of the Russian Museum. There is also an eternal extravaganza of the art gallery and the illustration dedicated to the history of the castle. Number 3. The Grand Kremlin Palace. On number 3 is the Grand Kremlin Palace, and you might have heard of this one. It was constructed from 1837 to 1849 in Moscow, Russia, on the site of the estate of the Grand Princes, which had been created in the 14th century on Borovitsky Hill. Developed by a team of architects under the supervision of Konstantin Thon, this palace was planned to emphasize the prominence of Russian autocracy. Whenever you're free to go on a tour of Moscow, make sure not to miss a chance to check out its museums and territory. It used to serve as the home for Moscow's Tsars. Presently, this gorgeous structure of rooms and palaces has its own door wide open to tourists. Touring the palace feels like traveling back in time, as it maintains the soul of different eras of Russian history. Quite cool, right? We know. Originally, the Grand Kremlin Palace was the Moscow residence of Russian emperors and their families. However, at present time, the president's inauguration, state ceremonies, and hospitable receptions of foreign leaders take place in the lavishly adorned halls. The creation of the Grand Kremlin Palace is quite different. The territory includes the earlier Terem Palace, 9 churches, and more than 700 rooms. Whew. The elegant interiors of the halls depict the blend of old Russian, Italian, and Eastern architecture, so a short visit to this beautiful palace will make memories you'll never forget, we promise. Number 4. The Nikolaevsky Palace. The 4th palace on our list is the Nikolaevsky Palace, also known as the Nicholas Palace. Situated not far away from St. Isaac's Cathedral, the Nikolaevsky Palace in St. Petersburg depicts a large neoclassical tower built for the imperial family. This palace was built for the 3rd son of Nicholas I. In 1894, the edifice was altered into the Xenia Institute for Noble Young Ladies. The Nikolaevsky Palace is an architectural ensemble that consists of numerous structures, and each structure has its decorative manner. The coexisting use of various styles such as Baroque, Classicism, and Italian Renaissance adds some unique flair. Wouldn't you love to come here? We bet you would. The edifice is beautifully adorned with columns and pilasters of Ionic and Corinthian orders and sculptural ornaments. Presently, the Nikolaevsky Palace holds the title of the Palace of Labor, and a huge part of the palace is leased to retail businesses. The Nicholas Palace became the main component of Labor Square. The architect Andreas Stackenschneider wanted Italian Renaissance architectural procedures for the facade. The palace's staircase was festooned with 17 paintings by the well-known artist Nikolai Tychobrasov. The enfilade of the first floor started with the white drawing room, decorated with picturesque panels and molded overdoors. Simply gorgeous. Number 5. Catherine Palace. The last palace on our list of luxury palaces in Russia is the Catherine Palace, which is a palace that is practically impossible to not visit from your travel list and is a must to check out during St. Petersburg tours. The dignified Baroque palace has over 300 years of history. Situated 25 kilometers south of St. Petersburg in the town of Pushkin, the imperial residence was appreciated by Empress Catherine and played the part of primary center of court life. The palace organized the most elegant of balls and masquerades in the country. The Grand Palace happens to be the compositional center of Tsarskoye Selo Park, white and blue masquerades are also richly adorned with caryatids, golden moldings, figures of Atlantis, and lion masks. The interior of the palace is just as beautiful. The most popular room is probably the amber cabinet, festooned in amber panels with pretty golden leaves and mirrors. To wrap it all up, this architectural masterpiece will immerse you into the times of Imperial Russia and is definitely worth a lot of your attention. Well, that's all for today's video. What do you think of these extremely luxurious Russian palaces? And what are your thoughts on their history and incredible architecture? Make sure to air your views in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed watching. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more great content. Thanks for watching. See you next time.